play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bomb stats think we're gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maev up. It was gonna be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Good evening and welcome everybody to the Nexus Gaming series. We've got a Season 7 heroic game coming in for you here. And give me 1 second as I find Alice. There we go. Gonna be between Probe 1 and Nsomnia. We actually just did a replay cast of Probe 1 here the other day, so I should hopefully have a better understanding of their names as I go through them here. But let's take a quick look here. I've got map bans for you. So we did see Nsomnia banned out Cursed Hollow and Battlefield of Eternity, while Probe 1 banning out the Sky Temple and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Towers of Doom going to be the pick from Nsomnia. And let's take a quick look at the standings here. And we see these two teams are pretty close together on the standings. So should be a fun and exciting game tonight between these two heroic division teams. Come back to me. Welcome. So the divisions, yeah. So basically there are technically there are what? 8 divisions. Yeah, okay. And it goes from top to bottom. Heroic being essentially the best of the best. Then it goes A, B, C, and D. But as I mentioned, there are 8 divisions. B, C, and D are split based on the coasts, kind of, based on when people play. So a West team could be playing in East time zone, so they would be placed with Easts. Let's make sure here. Looks like they're about ready to get things going. We are starting a bit late, as one of the teams was a little bit behind schedule in getting in here, so we'll get right into this. Right into the draft. Towers of Doom. And unfortunately, I don't think there's any way... Oh, wait, I can turn it off there. Hopefully that finishes the NGS Twitch alerts. We'll see how that goes. So, Towers of Doom. So we could see a 4-1 where we've got the solo laner doing a double soak. And then a... Wow, that's going to be a tough name to type out. Let's just skip past that. And then a 4-man push, like with a Sylvanas or, you know, some other valuable hero for those, the bot lane push there. And who is this person? Let's see if I can copy their name. I can't see, because of the boost, I can't actually see the name of the MSB player. But the first ban going to be Abathur, and Abathur can get a pretty significant amount of value on this map, being able to split soak while the enemy team is, you know, focusing on altars, of course. Let's see, Probe 1 versus Nsomnia. It's on Probe 1. All right, let's see. So who is this person? I have to check on that. Flying through the bans here. Let's double check this here. I don't think we've got a... there we go. It was an approved sub. And that is why it is a name not on the list. And of course it has little funky characters, which makes it so that I can't type it in. But the first selection going to be that Sylvanas that I mentioned earlier there. And the other bands there, Diablo, Ana, Alarak. Alarak being, you know, kind of coming back into the... Well, I don't want to say back into, it was never really heavily into the meta, but, you know, certainly a hero that had value in a niche place. Anub'arak and Tyrande, though. Good stun combo with the Impale and then the Lunar Flare. So, yeah, so basically these two teams here are in the middle of the upper division. So, the kind of with the way that the divisions end up playing out, you could see like a Division A team, for example, putting up a good fight against the lower tier of Heroic. And that kind of staggers its way as you go down the divisions. Stukov going to be the third and final ban here for Nsomnia. And I think I missed Davidiakos going in with that ETC. And Jati on Jaina. And going to be the Malthael. So the Malthael is going to be that double soaker that I was talking about earlier, with the fast rotations using on a pale horse. So there are still options like the Leoric, maybe a little bit with the Dahaka. That's correct. There's no time zone brackets for A or Heroic. Not enough, ultimately not enough teams in those brackets to support it. Although it was actually fairly close. And so Dahaka and Greymane, so that is the Dahaka that I mentioned about, you know, being able to get that quick rotation with the brush stock. Probably a little bit slower to get the double lane rotation XP. But you know what? Imperius isn't really that fast at it either, so... And then we have the Rhaegar. So Rhaegar, there's no like healing negation, so he's going to be fairly safe on the Ancestral. Greymane, let's see, what are they? Probably goes Curse Bullet with this, I think. And Raynor coming out for Psycho. So, I mean, they certainly could do the four-man push between that Sylvanas and Jaina in the bot lane. Rhaegar, if I remember correctly, can have some mana challenges. It's just as easy for Nsomnia to do that, really. They're just going to be looking at the sustained damage coming out from Greymane and Raynor using those beetles from Anub'arak. So one side has the Sylvanas to shut down the towers. The other side has the Anub'arak to provide the beetles to give them a target. That being said, neither of them have to do that. I mean, they both could be looking at just a bit more standard rotation between the mid and bot lane. Now, the one major thing that I see out of Nsomnia's build here, or not build, but draft, is that they are in a position that they can pretty much negate a mosh pit pretty easily. I mean, they've got 4 different heroes that can do it. So we may not even see mosh pit, especially, you know, this is a large map. They could relatively easily take the stage dive that would give them essentially a direct global counter to the Dahaka. So we'll see. As this game is getting loaded anyways, taking a little while. Make sure that everybody is... Dejira... Diaka's Perfection? Yeah, okay. Wait. Taki is not on Phoenix, they're on Tyrande. I didn't fix all of these. Darn it. Greymane, Wally Snit. Take a look over here. Nubarak. Alright, and a production value over here. Screwing up on one of the peoples. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get the introductions on the team. We'll start with Nsomnia over here. We've got French on Greymane, Taki on Tyrande, Wally Snit on Anubarak, Psycho on Raynor, and Jamster on Dahaka. Is that right? Did I have that right for Raynor? Yeah, I did. Okay. And for the blue team, we've got Probe One. And why is my overlay set up awkwardly now? And we'll come back to that in a second. We've got, oh, I know why. Davidiakos on ETC, Dejira on Sylvanas Perfection on Rhaegar, Thunderblade on Imperius, and bringing it up a little bit late here, we've got Jati on Jaina. And when we get a second, I'll try to fix the overlay so that it's actually correct here. So taking a look at the, oh yeah, we're gonna need to fix that quickly here. Let's see if it lets me do it now. Options. See if that worked. It did not. Okay, well, that'll have to fix for next game. Terribly sorry for the overlay. There was an update, and apparently when it changed to the 0.66 version, it broke my connection there. So we do see the Tyrande Owls going to scout out the camp here on, well, the other side of the siege camp, and we see both teams working on that. Raynor in the bot lane collecting that XP, and now with the scout, they do see charging in here is Wally Snit, just a little bit too late to get onto that point. Burrow charges in onto Davidiakos, but there's the kill. Jaina getting the completion onto the Anubarak. Lunar Flare manages to hit 2 there. Slight XP advantage thanks to that kill, going over to Probe One. And we're gonna see Probe One look to try to push their sappers ahead. They ended up killing the enemy sappers for Nsomnia, so they'll just go ahead and rotate up here, get the XP, as Nsomnia will clear off the sappers in the bot lane. And ETC rotating pretty aggressive, trying to slow down the rotation, prevent them from getting some of those minions, but ultimately they're there already. And Anubarak's coming down from behind them here, and they're all clumped up. 3-man stun out of that burrow charge, and Greymane gonna get in there, get that cleave, and Raynor will finish off the Jaina. Almost the Sylvanas as well. In fact, if Greymane had dove on the Jaina, I imagine that she would have died, and then Raynor could have finished off the Sylvanas. But either way, they get a kill. We see Dahaka up in the top lane there, kind of posing himself forward. We've got the XP soak in the middle, which he'll head back up. And 4-man rotation here, coming down into the bottom. And look to see Dahaka grab that quickly. They're going to try to stall this out, and then Dahaka will burrow charge in. We'll zoom out here a little bit. We'll see Dahaka coming in shortly. And Imperius in the top lane soaking, knowing that Dahaka's going to go bottom. So he's got time to collect theirs, but now Probe One probably has to back out of this, as a 5v4 is going to make it very difficult for them to secure this, as Taki there in the back does channel the altar, getting them 2 out of the 3 altars and a 4-point lead. Stun's going out onto the Sylvanas Dejira there, but she's able to use that Haunting Wave to get away. And you can see the talents up at the top of your screen. Because the talent box takes up so much space, I'm not going to pop it up very often, but I will pop it up here real quick just to show you that oh, we can't even check to see Jaina's stacks. Well, okay. We can probably do it by hitting this. There we go. So what is she at? 2,800. So a little ways to go, needing that 15,000. And here comes the Anubarak once again. The assist called from the team there to pull ETC back down. And he's going to go ahead and rotate back up. collect that soak in the mid lane. As both teams very even in the XP right now. And this is even in the bot lane here as Greymane went up to the ETC. Lunar Flare goes out. So these stun combos have been pretty solid between the Anubarak and Tyrande. And here we go with a double altar phase up in the top lane. Nsomnia is going to be just a little bit behind on this rotation. Greymane just barely outside of both of those stuns as the laughter from the boss announcing his arrival onto the map. It looks like the fight is going to take place on the red half of the map here. Although Imperius not quite there. We have a 5 versus 3 basically. Sylvanas is going to get ripped to shreds by the werewolf. Probe 1 already able to channel theirs as Rhaegar was in the back channeling his, and Tyrande gathering hers as well. So French is fairly low here, so yeah, okay. Getting that healing out from the Tyrande. Ultimately what they needed. Lots of damage coming in onto ETC. And just a little parting gift in a Gilnean cocktail. And good on Psycho here to be aware of the fact that he's a little bit far forward and the rotation is coming down to catch him. Really good awareness of the map and presence of what's taking place. But we see up here a fight over this top camp. And I'm not sure who I favor in this, but now that we've got more people coming, this is going to be an interesting fight here. 4 versus now 5, sorry, ETC is here. No Raynor, so this should be an Insomnia backing away. Greymane diving, using that Worgen cleave to get away. But ultimately the camp was picked up by Insomnia, so Probe 1 going to go ahead and clear this out. And that XP allows Insomnia to get the level 10 first. With that Raynor in the bot lane soaking while they were doing this fight. So next altar phase coming up, it is a single altar in the bot lane. And on the way, Raynor's going to pick up the camp. So level 10's available for now, both teams. And it is the stage dive for ETC. Not a big surprise there. We also have the Wailing Arrow for Sylvanas, the Water Elemental for Jaina, Ancestral Recall for Rhaegar, and Imperius coming in with that Wrath of Angiras. And speaking of which, once again, Imperius and Dahaka up in the top lane. On the other side, we do have the isolation for Dahaka, and here they come. Dahaka's already here. Imperius is on his way, gets the tongue onto Jaina, but the cleanse too late to keep her from dying, and then the cocoon onto ETC. If they've got some stuns, by the way, that's all they have. They might be able to get him, but the face melt knocking them back and allowing ETC to get away. But this camp coming in does allow them to also get the top tower in that bottom fort. And now with Jaina down, they're looking to get this invade on this camp. They have most of their heroics, or I guess not most of them, they just have Starfall really. So the rest of those heroics, so Starfall for the Tyrande, Raynor's Raider for Raynor, Go for the Throat for Greymane, and Nubarak with that cocoon that we saw earlier. So this time they're able to get the damage onto the siege camp before it gets close enough. And stage up coming in from ETC, deep under the towers there, gets the kills onto Tyrande and Greymane. And now the Wrath of Angiras onto the Beetle there, Anubarak, as he can't make it out. So a 3-for-0 trade out of that fight. And with the black arrows from Sylvanas, they're going to go ahead and shut down the towers, shut down the fort, and make this theirs. In a moment or two. It takes a moment. What a clutch play out of that ETC to block them off, keep them from making it back to their safe area, and ultimately provide the value kills for the rest of the team to follow up on. And then that follow-up Wrath of Angiras from Thunderblade to lock down the Beetle as well. Keep Anubarak off of the game map entirely, really. 2-man Celestial Charge. And we see the cleaves coming out from Thunderblade, and look at the damage. 3 again, and now Dahaka coming through, uses the isolation, but he's stuck in the blizzard, burrows away, hopefully is gonna make it across the line, trying to pull somebody with him, does, but doesn't get out alive. And now the altar coming up is available for Imperius, and it looks like they're gonna go ahead and get this aggressive camp as well. 14 to 12 in favor of Probe 1 at this point. Let's just check in on Jaina's stack. So 8,800, so about halfway there. I don't think there are any other level 1 like baseline traits that are out there, right? No, just hers. So we do have this camp coming in the bot lane, 4-man defense, trying to make sure that they can push these sappers in as ETC is in the middle with Greymane. And the Beetles do slow this down. It makes it a little bit harder for these sappers to make it through, but one does make it through. And Raynor using his Raider to try to keep them busy, and Anub'arak as well, but just too much damage coming out from that team, and that's going to net them an extra 3 points. So 24 to 24, this game is tied up now, thanks to picking up this bottom tower, getting the altar, and the 3 points from the sappers. All right, and I thought we were going to see this camp over here. It looked like Rhaegar was going to do that, but instead they're going to protect the bottom keep here, which is valuable. You've got a triple altar phase that's kind of does cut off a little bit of the potential retreat value in the bottom lane, and now we're going to see Stage Dive coming in, trying to get some kind of kill value here, but it looks like ultimately it's just going to use up the ultimates for ETC and Jaina with that water elemental as well. Pulling back here away from the tower, they're going to leave Imperius behind, but we do see the burrow charge in, and it's going to be Dejira that's taking the damage this time. Dahaka does get the channel onto the safe side for Nsomnia. That's going to be 3 points. ETC working on the 5 points up in the top left there. He does not have Stage Dive, so he can't come back into this. And it looks like Jaina gets the cleanse, but just too much damage coming out from that Greymane. So 1 additional point getting the 2 altars for Nsomnia. So just a slight lead in points. And they're going to get this camp going. And we've got a Jaina being potentially DC'd. Let's go ahead and pop back over to here, shall we? Oh, they're going to need me to do the countdown. So this game is pretty exciting. 18 points, 19 points right now left on the core. This is a brutal matchup. I'm enjoying it for sure. And they set me as referee, which means that I can talk to them, but more specifically that I'm the one that has to actually turn off the pause as we wait here. So there you go. So again, just taking a look at these standings, we do see these teams very close in the standings overall. 9 points and 7 points. A 2-0 victory from Probe 1 would put them ahead of Nsomnia. A 2-0 from Nsomnia would put them up 1 tier, just above Archon. And it sounds like we have everybody back. And then once we get this countdown, we'll go ahead and pause. There we go. Game. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the game. And we do see now the tunnel in the center opening up, allowing for the faster rotation out from the 2 sides here. Of course, a little bit of a death zone, but there are times when that's going to be important to take. And Nsomnia able to rotate down, pick their fort back up in the bot lane. as they also get their siege camp going on now too. So, and keep in mind right now, Stage Dive is available. I don't believe that Brush Stalker is. It is. Never mind. So both of the globals are available in the event that they need to make use of it. So wouldn't surprise me to see ETC come in here. There it is. Stage Dive coming in. The Burrow Charge already used, and it's going to be a Nubarak going down. Davidiakos chasing after Tyrande, just staying on top of her, making sure she cannot get the healing onto the rest of her team. And it is Wrath of Angiris again onto the Dahaka this time. And he is slowed by the totem coming from Rhaegar. And with a 3-for-0, we're going to see Probe 1 picking up the bottom altar, and I somewhat expect them maybe even to try to pick up this tower before they get the mid altar, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. And they realize they have plenty of time. They can get 1 extra point off of their core by making sure to pick up this tower first. And now ETC comes back, picks up this tower. The timer on the camps here, 35 seconds on the left, a minute on the right. And we see Greymane in the top, trying to get what he can here, keep them in this game, get a little pressure out there. And we've got 3 of Nsomnia in the bot lane. Trying to clear that up and maybe get their minions here so that they can try to get this back. Let's zoom out a little bit here so we can better watch this action. Sylvanas, look at the damage there. Just a quick attack onto Wallysnet there, and going down about a quarter to a third of his health just with 1 quick attack from the Sylvanas. And Raynor checking that bush, keeping an eye on the Imperius with his Raynor. Burrow Charge in, and there's the Cocoon onto Rhaegar, the Lunar Flare onto Imperius, but he uses that Wrath of Angiris onto the Anubarak, and Dahaka coming in the back, uses the Isolation onto Imperius Thunderblade, cleaving away there, but look at this damage onto this team, the Blizzard going nuts onto both of the front line. Tyrande just not able to keep up, and Dahaka trying to run away there. Psycho as well, getting caught by ETC. And that's, again, 3-for-0. Every single team fight that Probe 1 is taking, they're getting 3 kills and losing nothing. And this right now is a very bad place to be for Nsomnia. This is very likely the game. They've got 2 altars coming up. That's 8 points. They have the camp going through, which isn't going to do anything. But ultimately, channeling bot and channeling mid, that is the end of game number 1. And that's going to be going over to Probe 1. Welcome, everybody, from Ziltoid's stream tonight. We are watching the heroic game between Probe 1 and Nsomnia. And you missed out on a lot of a really good setup there. That was a really exciting match between these 2 teams. And, you know, I don't want the kill count to make it sound like this was, you know, a complete slugfest, that, you know, one team completely overpowered the other, because right up until the last couple of team fights there, it was very balanced. And then suddenly it wasn't. And basically 3 team fights in a row, it was 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and that was all it took for them to pull ahead and win this game. Quick peek at the talents. Alrighty. And I think I'm going to try, let's go ahead and double check here, get the observer set up correctly. Okay, it is. And I'm going to try restarting my game. So hopefully the game lines up with the overlay so that it all looks good. A little bit more aligned. And here we go, loading up this game. How's everybody doing tonight? It's not quite midnight yet, so it's still today. Some of you guys are on the Pacific coast. Alright, so hopefully now should be all set. And let's see, so that was Nsomnia that lost the game, so... reach out to Jamster and find out what's going on, what we're gonna do here, and where we're going. And I didn't write down the bans last game because I was still fixing things, so I'm gonna have to go look those up in a moment. Let's see, I remember Abathur banned, there's a Diablo, an Ana, Malthael. Okay, they want map pick, so red team going for map pick. And here we go. Where are we going? We're gonna go to Infernal Shrines. This was the selection of Nsomnia. Let's take a look at these maps. Once again, we had the bans from Nsomnia were Cursed Hollow and Battlefield of Eternity. The bans from Probe 1, Sky Temple, and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Our first game, Towers of Doom, went over to Probe 1. It was the selection of Nsomnia. And game number 2, also the selection of Nsomnia, going to be Infernal Shrines. And let's take a look here. Let me write down these teams just real quick. You know what I'll do? I'll just do a screenshot. We'll make it easy. So both of these teams looking for these points to make sure that they can stay in playoff contention. And it looks like everybody is the same, so that's good. Let's see, so earlier today, DB Smiley put together some playoff race setup. So we've got, where are these teams at? So Nsomnia has just about a 58% chance of getting a playoff spot at this point. Probe 1 sitting at 27% chance of a playoff chance. That's interesting, because I think they were... Let's take a look at those standings again. Oh, okay, I thought they were flip-flop. For whatever reason, I thought that Nsomnia was the one below Pro 1. So there you go. So 27% and 58% on their playoff chance here. So thanks for the follow, Richard Gear. So getting ready for game number 2, Yawners as well. Appreciate that follow. Let's see if we can pull up the... Oh, wrong channel. See if we can pull up the bans from game number 1 there. Alright, we've got everybody in the lobby now, so that's good. Let's see, Stukov. So Diablo, Ana, Stukov were the bans out of Nsomnia. And, oh, that's right, Alarak. I should have known that. And it looks like both teams are ready, so we're actually going to be getting started here in just a moment. Does French even play that hero? Which hero? Raynor? I don't know. They certainly did this last game, at least. All right, getting into the draft. Game number 2 on Infernal Shrine. So we're going to see some different setup here, probably than what we saw with the last game on Towers of Doom. So it's still a big map, so we could still see some global action. We could still see heroes like the Imperius getting that cleave value. We could see the Shrine Clear. Sylvanas provides a lot of power here as well. So I guess really, I mean, they could go very similar drafts, really. I mean, Raynor and Greymane can still do a fair bit here. Raynor a little bit less so with the AoE, but, you know, gets that value. So we're gonna get the Abathur ban first. Once again. Followed up by the Ana ban, so very slight change from last game where they banned her second instead of first. I know, you weren't expecting that. And there's that Alarak once again, so if we hold to last round, then Diablo should be the next ban. And it's not going to be. It's going to be Sylvanas. And you know what? That's okay. I like that ban. Sylvanas did a lot of work in that last game. But she also provides a win harder aspect to this setup with the Punishers. If the Punisher's not taking damage from the structure, then it lives longer and does more damage. Just makes good mathematical sense. And our first pick going to be the Zeratul. So we did not see bans or picks on Zeratul last game. And Diablo Maiev. So looking to, instead of banning out the Diablo, they want to take Diablo. And Diablo and Maiev can pair really well. They've got the opportunity to do a Warden's Cage with a Lightning Breath or an APOC. And the Stukov can help to kind of stall that out with his silence. Also with the Flailing Swipe, knocking everybody out of the Warden's Cage if that comes to play. To be fair, so can Zeratul, using that Void Prison. Third ban, so they didn't have the chance to ban out the Stukov this time, so something different. It's going to be a Nubrak. And once again, you know, that's a good ban. They obviously they haven't taken their tank yet. They did provide a lot of value. That was on the other side, but it was still the potential there with the cocoons. Having a Maiev come into that, yeah. Final ban gonna be Tyrande. So it's not uncommon to see mages comboing with the Maiev, so we could see a Kael'thas. I don't know if Heroic plays Kael'thas that much. They already lost Jaina, so even a Mephisto or an Orphea could work pretty well. As we see the Anduin Yrel. Okay, so Yrel being able to dive in and go crazy and have all of the movement speeds. And then Anduin able to bring her back if necessary. But really, three very dive-heavy frontliners there between Yrel, Diablo, and Maiev. So, and we have a very backline-heavy comp here coming out from Probe 1. And that's not... I was going to say it would have been Johanna. So this is an interesting setup here for Probe 1. Against a dive-heavy comp, they don't really have a lot of anti-dive, kind of, really? But I'd kind of like to... Yeah, okay. Okay. And the Kael'thas provides value here just because of the fact that it's, I mean, so easy to combo with the Cage, with an APOC. You get Living Bombs spread all over the place. The Gravity Lapse, there's a nice defined location where that's going to be going. So I like the Kael'thas here. I think that works very well for what they're trying to do. And I don't know. I'm not really feeling as much for the Probe 1 draft. I feel like there is a lot of execution requirement coming out from the Zeratul. Jaina looking for a ring or a Void Prison Ring combination. And if they don't get it at the right time, then their heroes just die. That's my thinking on this. So if they can execute it and do it right, and keep in mind they do have a sub tonight, then they can get a lot of value. But once again, you know, ETC much more so likely to take Mosh at this point, just because stage dive takes you entirely off the map. And let's flip that over. There we go. We got everything overlaid correctly now. Show this bounce. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So anyways, the stage dive unlikely, but we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and get these teams introduced. For Probe 1, we'll start on the blue side this time. We've got Dejira on Phoenix. We've got Thunderblade on Zeratul. Perfection playing Stukov. Davidiakos on ETC. And Jati on Jaina. A little bit late again. And for Nsomnia on the red side, they might. I don't know. Taki on the Anduin. We've got Psycho on... not Maiev. Kael'thas, right? Nope, Maiev. Oh, I think they... And then French on Kael'thas. Wally Snit on Diablo. And Jamster on Urel. So, take a look at these talents here. I'm going to zoom out so you can see this action. Power Slide over the Diablo, and Diablo doesn't have a whole lot of health at this stage in the game, so that slow and silence onto him is going to bring him down very low, but the Kael'thas Living Bombs could be the end of Jaina, and it is, and Zeratul also very low here, gets the Power Slide to try to help with the Maiev, and Maiev uses that Vault of the Wardens to try to get away. Does get that Shadow of Vengeance with sub 10 health. And the Kael'thas, by the way, also able to get the kill onto Phoenix. So kill number 1 and kill number 2 coming out right out of the gate. Crazy talk. And keep in mind too that Zeratul not as strong of a hero either at this stage in the game. Let's check in on our solar laners, Phoenix and Urel up in this top lane here. See what they're doing for a moment, because they never get quite the same level of attention. And that being said, we've got a camp going on here for Nsomnia. Working on that quickly. Words are hard, guys. And the rotation back down here, we do see Jati and Perfection coming in, getting onto their camp as well. But check this out. In the bot lane, since they already had time, they're able to get work on this. Nsomnia going to town. French throwing those living bombs. Taki healing his way to victory on these impalers. So they're going to get a second camp, and that'll put them just slightly ahead in the XP race between these two teams. Let's see, Taki. Nope, that is a full 5 on the roster. Now, whether they're, you know, an on-roster sub, I don't know. That could be. They could be an on-roster sub, but they're certainly not an off-roster sub, which is what Probe 1 has tonight. Level 4 is available. Let's take a look at some of these going on here. We did see that level 1 bold strategy out of Anduin, giving him the double talent value at the expense of a longer cooldown on his heal. That vault trying to stay away from the damage from that shaman, and this is going to give them a pressure advantage in the top lane while this fight goes on over this bottom lane Punisher, assuming that they get enough people down here, or maybe they just don't care, which looks to be maybe the case. As they get the soak in the mid, and now they're rotating as 5. About halfway there for Probe 1, so they're looking to now back away. They don't have the Phoenix. Charge in onto Jati. Jaina backing away there, and has the assistance of Thunderblade, which seems kind of funny with Zeratul with his single side blade there. And Jaina gets the shadow charge here. Maiev going in deep, trying to get that tether. Does get the tether and vaults away to stay alive. Is Jaina going to be the kill? Thunderblade also going down, but did get the kill onto Kael'thas. So shadow charge in onto Phoenix. The flip into the root. 33 to 27, so they showed up and got a ton of damage here onto these minions. But it's ultimately going to go over to Probe 1. And this Frozen Punisher, without the assistance of the Jaina and Zeratul, is probably going to get cleared pretty quickly. Phoenix going up there into the mid lane to get that soak. Try to keep them on even levels here as level 7's coming up for both teams. And we do see the Divine Steed for Yrel. The Punisher leaping in onto French, and good night. French getting a one-way ticket to Graveyardsville. And it's just Anduin and Diablo down here in the bot lane. So this fort in the bot lane gonna go down. They're trying to call for making sure to get the healing well as well. And that's gonna give them constant pressure in the bot lane now, as they will get occasional catapults every 2 or 3 waves. And we do have now Insomnia coming in, looking at their camp. Power slide into the Diablo, but that leap of faith gonna get him out of trouble there. At least for the moment. And here comes the Warden herself, Maya, diving in, getting the tether onto 2. The living bombs getting spread as Jati goes down. Thunderblade getting out. And Jamster coming in, getting onto this point here. That's going to give them at least one camp, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them come in here and get the invade. ETC getting the Shadow Charge from Diablo. So we do see that 3 members of Probe 1 are available here, but they also know that Phoenix is in the top lane, so essentially be a 4v3 here. But with Jaina coming back, this is going to be a 4v4 very quickly if they don't get this killed. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and clear out the pressure in the mid lane first. And rotation down into the bot lane, getting the ETC. Looked like he got, I don't know how he got stunned. He must have used the power slide when he got pulled there. Level 10's online for both teams now. So we've got the Ardent Defender for Yrel, Warden's Cage for Maya, Phoenix for Kael'thas, Apocalypse for Diablo. And we'll find about Anduin here soon. Really, either could be just fine. I think he could have gone Light Bomb, but he can also really go Salvation here if he's mindful of the ETC knockbacks, because they really, I guess Dukop 2 is the other one. And he does go Salvation, so that's not too surprising. Much like ETC's Mosh Pit, you have to be mindful of the enemy team's interrupt cooldowns. So we'll see how that works out for the Anduin. And we are going to see Insomnia working on their Shaman camp here quickly. By the way, the rest of the heroics for Probe 1 here, we've got the Ring of Frost for Jaina, Planet Cracker coming out from Phoenix, Stage Dive for ETC, Flailing Swipe for Stukov, and Void Prison for Zeratul. And keep in mind, Zeratul sitting here stealthed. They cannot see him, although he did just move just slightly. So kind of surprised that didn't lead to a instant like catch from Jamster there, but it is what it is. So blue, Probe 1 all over the map here is ETC in the bot lane trying to get that pressure going, or keep it going, I suppose. Jaina coming down now. There's the Stage Dive right onto the Void Prison, so it's going to hit those 2. The Ring of Frost only hits Diablo. The knockback stalls out that Salvation, and here comes the APOC. It's going to be Zeratul going down first. Davidiakos has the Living Bomb, has to go a different route to avoid spreading that to his entire team. The Warp coming out from Dejira avoids the tether from Psycho. I admit I was not expecting the Stage Dive Void Prison combo, but it happened. And the tether onto Davidiakos, pulling him back with the stun, nearly getting him taken out. Almost had beef for dinner. stun again onto the ETC, as well as a gravity lapse coming out there. The soul shield coming out from Diablo, but Diablo in a bit of trouble here, gets the silence now. Leap of Faith pulls him back, but Zeratul right on the target, and Zeratul is on the hunt. Misses the Singularity Spike, but the Phoenix getting low here, could go down, does go down. Psycho chasing him down. Thunderblade getting pulled out of stealth there and having to keep running away from the Warden, but it's gotta be the power slide onto Anduin and the Blizzard taking him out. And they're not done. They're continuing to chase into a bit of an uneven fight. All right, then. And we see Jamster hopping over the wall. There's the Void Prison. So 4v4 here. This, I don't know how much they expect to get out of this. They're going to go ahead and give it up, but the Shadow charge in onto Diablo. They lose the camp, though. Flailing Swipe into the wall. Ring of Frost is going to hit absolutely nobody, but it's going to slow down the advance of Nsomnia. So, 2 ults available. Salvation and Warden's Cage. Now Ardent Defender as well for Nsomnia. And the Gravity Lapse catching that Stukov, but just barely, just the tip. Nobody quite in a good position to follow up. Stage Dive, the only heroic available for Probe 1, but here's Yrel couldn't quite make it over that wall. The power slide going out, but does have the Ardent Defender to allow her to survive for that few moments longer as the rest of her team shows up. Phoenix nowhere nearby, so at least for now, this is a uneven fight in favor of Nsomnia, but they're going to go ahead and back away, it looks like. Or at least they're going to try to. French is in danger here as the ETC Stage Dive coming in. Jamster very low, does not have Ardent Defender. The Warden's Cage going out. Diablo getting rooted. Walks through that silence. It's going to be Yrel going down first. Diablo second. And Maev on the hunt there. Anduin going down to the Phoenix. 3 for nothing trade. This sounds familiar, ladies and gentlemen. And it was about this time last game that we started seeing 3-0 trades coming out for Probe 1. So we'll see if they are able to continue that. And the Shrine coming up in the bot lane. Looks like it's going to be a Mortar Punisher. And looked like there was maybe some thought about going after the Shaman camp, but with both teams up at full strength and now level 16s available for Probe 1, they're going to go ahead and just go back and get their own camp. They'll get that value there. Both teams currently with 1 fort down. And now 16's coming up for Nsomnia. Very even game here, both in kills and structures. ETC's going to use the Stage Dive. The Planet Cracker not really getting a ton of value. But the Tether from Maev pulling him back in, and that Living Bomb getting a little bit of value as well. So that was a lot of ultimates used on the side of Probe 1. They have absolutely none available now. And everything is available for Nsomnia. So I expect to see some craziness coming up here. There's the Phoenix. The Warden's Cage is out, as well as the Apocalypse. But the red health bars deleted. Just gone. That's 3 kills coming out. Again, 3 for nothing. They pushed all of their, well, I guess not all of them, most of their hard buttons and got no value. Absolutely bonkers. And now top lane's gonna be picked up here. They're gonna get this Shaman camp. Zeratul and ETC are. Keep in mind, Stage Dive coming up in just a few seconds, so ETC can make it back very quickly in the event that there's any kind of threat on the point. This should net them this top fort easily, just from the Shaman, although it looks like Zeratul's gonna come in and make sure that that finishes up. And 39, now 40, and I was wrong. I thought it was Mortar. It's gonna be Arcane. And they're sending the Arcane Punisher in the bot lane with the Phoenix. And here comes Stage Dive looking onto Anduin and Diablo, the backside Planet Cracker, but it's going to be Anduin going down there first, pulling Zeratul in. It is going to be Zeratul going down, spreading that living bomb over to Perfection and MSB Djira. As that Void Prison at least did slow things down for them so that they could, you know, only lose one person. And they did get the kill onto two, Diablo and Anduin, both going down, both the targets there that got hit by the Stage Dive. Punisher getting some work done. The wall's already down. They've got Phoenix, Jaina, and there goes the leap onto two. Kael'thas is in quite a bit of danger here and is going to get pummeled by that Punisher. And now with no Kael'thas, Punisher's very low. This is a little risky, I think, as they also have 4 players. This is an even fight at this point. And they realize that and elect to go ahead and back away. They're trying to get in onto this Phoenix here, shoved into the wall. Warp does make it out, and the Flailing Swipe gets the disengage. So they do manage to successfully walk away, and now level 20 is coming online for Probe 1. Zeratul already on the mid camp. And they're going to get bottom as well. And keep in mind that bottom now has the constant catapult pressure, and in addition to that, we'll have a siege camp going. And with level 20s, they're going to go ahead and set up in an aggressive bush here. All right, everybody. Stay quiet. Because ETC has generally been in an off lane away from the team. Nsomnia has no idea where the team is. And they can remain patient. They don't. They're going to go ahead and head up, clear up the mid lane, get the pressure out from their camp there. And Nsomnia has to basically just wait to let the minions come in. Jamster getting a lot of damage done here, is gonna go down. Wow, holy cow. I was originally gonna say yeah, this is no big deal for Jamster, but he didn't have Ardent Defender, and then Jaina showing up missed the Frostbolt, but ultimately still able to get that kill onto Yrel. And with level 20s, this is a very significant advantage for them at this point. Getting that poke damage in onto Diablo, but he pops as well, able to get back up to full. 20 seconds until Yrel, probably 30 seconds or so beyond that to get to level 20 for Nsomnia. Zeratul set off to the side. Soul Shield being used by Diablo, but here comes the Stage Dive. The Leap of Faith saving Diablo. Such an annoying ability to be so close to getting that kill, and then he just says, "Nah, I'm out." And now all 5 members of Insomnia on the board. They're gonna have to clean up this bot lane before they head up to the shrine. Danger pings going out. They know that they're there, and level 20 talents available now for Insomnia. And they've got to make something happen sometime soon here. This Punisher might not end the game. It is a Mortar Punisher this time. But it is a nice, significant bonus, giving them essentially a 6th man on the board. So it's not a place that they want to be in if they can help it. Now, that being said, Probe 1, they don't necessarily lose this. If they lose Punisher. There goes the VP. We're gonna see Stage Dive soon, maybe? Here it comes. Did miss the Diablo. There goes the Planet Cracker, having to stop it because of the Ardent Defender, but it's going to be Zeratul all by himself in the backline that goes down. Warden's Cage coming out, and Phoenix getting punted right back into the APOC and obliterated. There goes the second charge of that upgraded Ring of Frost. And Insomnia back to life in this game. But once again, we've got to keep an eye on this bot lane as catapults are starting to mount up. And we're seeing Probe 1, they don't really have enough to take out the core, but they can certainly keep pressure up in these other lanes. And Urel knows she's got to clear out these catapults to keep the core safe. Ultimately, probably can't really do anything against the 3 of them on that core or that keep anyways. And now going to work on keeping the 1 keep that they have available safe. 10 seconds until Phoenix, Zeratul about to be back on the map. And now looking to get the pressure in those alternate lanes. Probe 1 moving down to get the bottom as well. And already Nsomnia is pulling back. They're expecting a bush gank, or not a bush gank, but they're expecting maybe a core call here. So they do get that top fort. Punisher going under half now as all of Nsomnia showing on the map. So Probe 1 can safely clear this and not lose any of their keep. So once again, significant value here. They do get the value of that extra keep. Probe 1 does, even losing the objective. They're able to get 2 camps, which forces the Nsomnia members to go back and clean it up. (14-10) on the kills, very close. And this time it's Nsomnia perhaps looking for that bush gank setup. No direct show of where they're going to be. The Hellgate used onto the Phoenix, just barely outside of it though. And it looks like Stage Dive coming in, Shadow Charge onto the ETC, but he's able to get out. Now Jamster in a little bit of trouble, has nothing but blue health bars around him, pops the Ardent Defender, and Zeratul coming around in the back. Look at those juicy targets. Doesn't have a lot of health. And it's going to be the disengage call coming out from Probe 1. Until it wasn't. ETC power sliding in. We do get a big root onto 2. And there's that salvation keeping him alive, but the knockback interrupts it. Stukov going to be the first to go down. Zhati on Jaina very low as well. ETC running away with a bomb. Diablo finishes that. 2 for 2 so far. Phoenix chasing down, may get the Kael'thas kill here as well. And Maiev as well. So now it's Zhati has no health, Thunderblade as well, and Phoenix trying to run away from the Diablo. They should be able to get this kill, even as low as they are. And that's going to be 3 available from Probe 1 with a full team domination against Nsomnia. But they don't have enough health to get onto this court. Jaina has absolutely none. Went back and tapped. Phoenix has a shield regenerating now, so they're going to try to get in here. Maybe wait for the, I was going to say, maybe wait for the catapults to get in here. They've got a few moments here. Diablo trying to go in and stall them out. I don't know. I think I might have waited a few moments. And we'll see now. We do have these 2 catapults coming in. 2 seconds until Anduin. Anduin's not going to be able to do anything. Urel. I don't think so. No. And that's going to be a 2-0 victory going over to Probe 1. And really the first domination of the game there, right of the series even, in that second game. Let's see if we can get Zhati in here. So take a look at these stats. We've got 20 kills to 12 in that. Ultimately in favor of Probe 1. And Phoenix doing loads of damage in that game. Good pickup on that off-roster sub. Really pushed hard. Healing very similar. Tanking. Quite a bit of damage going onto the red side of that map. And of course, the most important, the XP soak. So we will have Zhati coming in for an interview here in a moment. And let's go ahead and just hop up to that interview page. That is not correct. I really do need to remember to make that adjustment. Hey, welcome! how are you feeling after that game?
We feel very good. The NGS season was a bit rough for us, from like this far, and we're very happy that we made a good match, and we played our comfort picks, and we're very, very happy of the end of it.
For sure. Well, you guys played a pretty decided set there in your favor there. That first game on Towers of Doom was very close, and then it wasn't, right? It was 19 to 18, and then you guys just had 3 team fights in a row where it was 3-0 every single time, and you controlled the bot lane, and then you just won the game. Like, once you had that 18-19 moment, you just took it over. And so I've got to ask, like, how did the team deal with that? So you're kind of taking over as captain for the day, correct?
Yeah, our captain is having like bad connection issues.
Ooh.
So he decided to pass for tonight. So yeah, we basically asked a friend of us to join us, but we play with her a lot, and we have a good synergy, and she knows our strategies a little bit. So it was really cool. With her, we had good communication too. It went very fluid.
Sure. No, and it looked pretty clutch. I mean, there were, I'm going to come back to that. Remind me that I want to ask about a fight in game 2. But so in game 1, knowing that you've kind of taken over that leadership role for the team tonight. You have an off-roster sub. The game is very close. What happened to make the game go from close to done? Like, what did you guys do? What did you say? What was the plan there?
I guess we just we stopped a moment while we were level 10, and we were like, okay, what we want to pull up, because like we had so much heroes that could go both ultimates. Like ETC could go mush, but he could also go stage dive. So we took a moment and we just thought what would be the best against their comp, since they were very aggressive so far. So we decided basically to not go with a one-shot combo, but like more ETC stage, and then like Jaina can have the value with Elemental on everybody. It was just easier to target Tarande at this moment, and just blow her out, and then after that, we were not that scared. But like once we took her out of the team fight, and it went better than we thought.
Well, yeah, I mean, that ETC stage dive, like, that was the first 3-0 team fight that you had, if I remember correctly, was right in the bot lane, right at their, like, literally at their wall. ETC said, you shall not pass, and popped off the stage dive, and then just blue health bars, got destroyed, and then the Wrath of Angiris. It was great.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Surprised with that team fight. Like, we didn't think we would just delete 3 people. I know there's like once that he said I'm gonna stage dive, and then they backed, and then the stage dive was like in nothing. We were like, oh, oopsie.
I remember that one.
It was like we were defending like the turret bottom,
right
the tower, and but basically it went very smooth from there. We were surprised. We were kind of stressed at the beginning of the game, because like, since we didn't have a really good season, we don't play a lot together because it's summer. We didn't know how it would go, and basically we were surprised and happy of how it turned out.
Sure. Well, so we talked a little bit about game number 1. Game number 2, again, relatively close for a good portion of the game. I think around just before level 16. I said, hey, things are really close. 7 kills to 7 kills, 1 structure to 1 structure. And then you guys got a 3-0 kill there. And I said, oh, by the way, this is about where this started to happen last game. But then, shortly thereafter, you guys had the craziest team fight I think that I've seen in all of the casts that I've done, other than a 1v5 Mephisto. But where you guys were going to that bottom point, you had used you literally used all of your ultimates very recently. It's at the bottom shrine. they have everything, they use everything, but they don't have URL with them. And then
we didn't understand that, like how
right?
they turned, I don't know.
You guys walked in, they had APOC, they had Warden's Cage, they had something else, I don't remember what else it was. A Phoenix goes out, and they died!
I don't...
It was insane!
I wish I could see it back, because I don't even know how... I think I had no one in my face. I think there was like Aero in the back, and no, not
Aero wasn't even there. She was up in the top lane.
Diablo. I think Diablo got deleted in the back lane, and that's it. That's how it started. Because every other team fight, we had Aero in the back line, and not Dibs.
Right.
She was beside the Jaina all the time, and Phoenix, and then now it was Diablo, and I think he had no souls or something like that, because like. I think we were 16, right? Because like
You were at that point, yes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
because he got rooted with the level 16 of Jaina.
Yep.
That started to help a lot, because when people were jumping in the backline, we could just like prevent them for just going to our faces with that. I think that's what happened, but we were surprised at that team fight.
It was, you know what, go back and check that out. You can check this out, by the way. It'll show in the VOD at twitch.tv/Aero of the Storm, so that you can check that out. I'll send that to you in the game, so you've got it. But yeah, I mean, clip that, you know, put that in highlights, because that's a team fight that you don't expect to go the way that it goes, and then holy smokes, it's just gone. And you guys chase him down. I can't remember how many kills you get. I think you get 3 out of that one as well, but or is that the one? That's not the one. No, it's not the one that ended the game.
Oh, maybe they said it. I don't know. Did you know if they thought we were about to backdoor at the end?
So I did actually mention that, and it did kind of look like that, because you guys had the camps in the other 2 lanes. You're talking about when they got the Punisher in the top, and then they backed away.
We
Yep.
actually were very surprised when we arrived to the Punisher and we saw no one.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised by that too.
We would fight on that.
Yeah, because those lanes were pushed so far away.
It looked like a backdoor, but it was
Yeah.
not our intention there.
Right.
Just we were like, yeah, we're gonna give that fort anyways. So they're all top. Let's just take some things that will push, and eventually someone's gonna go back. But in the end, they all went back. So it was pretty nice for us.
Right. Yep. And you know what? Is that enough that they ultimately, you know, lost the game because of it? Who knows?
Well,
maybe.
We traded a fort for a keep and 3 camps. So,
Right. And
so yeah, that hurt. Yeah, that hurts.
And at that point, they had all the pressure in the top lane. You guys were still fairly far away from the keep and the cores at that, or the core at that point. So, you know, if they get into a prolonged fight, maybe that does end up being core damage, or even core if they're not careful about it. So maybe that was part of the other reason that they elected that.
We don't want to fight anymore.
Right.
Because,
right.
like, we know that at this Punisher, if we die, they can just core.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Every freaking lane was pushed, so we were like, honestly, let's just defend and play the map, because like they have skills. We were like, nah. That comp is carry. If they get us, like, we're dead. So.
And in all seriousness, and you know, I'll raise my hand and say I'm the first one. At the beginning of the game, I quite literally said, I don't know what these guys are doing. They're super squishy. They have a very dive-heavy comp into people that just die if they get caught. But you guys didn't die. You instead killed all of them very handily as the game went on. And I think that they just needed to. I think they needed more early game to kind of snowball to prevent you guys from ultimately having your Zeratul come online and obviously the Jaina get all of her bonus damage.
Pay attention, but maybe the Stukov, like, we picked Stukov to prevent them from just caging everybody and then we all die. And
right.
I couldn't see because I was not in the Warden's cage, but maybe that helped a little bit. That we got
for sure.
Silence. I don't know. I was out of it. I didn't see, but maybe Zeratul was able to do some more work because of that. I don't know, but we
yeah, you'll have to check that clip. Yeah, I mean, Zeratul did kind of loop around below, and Stukov definitely had value. I mean, all cylinders fired at exactly the right moment to make that work for you guys in a way that it was just mind-boggling to see, because all of those R buttons were pressed on the red side, and then they were the ones taking all the damage. It was almost like their R buttons worked against them. That's how it felt.
There's a team fight I need to check. The team fight at the end where I should have died. Like, I don't know how, but like, if somebody wants to clip it, if somebody clipped it, but Jaina just walks away with like 10 HP.
Yeah.
And if I had not, I don't think we would have won. But
yeah.
Like, they have had me, and I don't know what happened, but like.
Well, they only had Diablo at that point, right? And ultimately even Phoenix and Zeratul chased Diablo down, which you're absolutely correct. I was watching Diablo and I was like, if Diablo turns around, he can get the Jaina.
God. Yeah. Okay. My tank was like, get out, get away. And he was like, I know you. You're gonna try to get that kill. Get out. You're gonna die. He's gonna charge you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll go. I was like, getting to our base,
Yep. Yeah, you have to disengage, because if you don't and Diablo kills you, then your entire team calls you a bronzy, right? Like, yeah. That's just what happens.
And I tend to have like a feet too far always and get punished, so.
Fair enough. Well, listen, it's been a great time chatting with you. It was a great match to watch. I want to give you the opportunity for any shout-outs you want to make out to Twitch chat or anybody else that may watch this later.
Well, thanks for the enemy team. We had a really good time. After that, thanks to our sub, Jira, for saving us tonight. And thanks for everybody who watched our plays. It's very nice to have some viewers when we play.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Enjoy your points and your leapfrogging. If I remember correctly, you were right behind Nsomnia, but now you're going to be right ahead of Nsomnia on the playoff race.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you guys were at 7 points. I think they were at 9. So now you're at 10. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a good night.
You as well. All right, everybody, and that's going to be the end of this heroic matchup between Probe One and Nsomnia. What a game! Go back and check out the stream. Check out some of those clips. Those fights are definitely clip-worthy. Send them into the highlights channel for the Nexus Edge. Maybe you see them on the highlight reel here next week, but definitely go back and check those out. 2-0 for Probe One. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you check back here. I've got 2 casts coming up on Thursday. I don't actually remember what all the teams are, but also check back on Sundays at 2 p.m. for the NGS Rewind, where we go back, take a look at some of the matches that don't get cast throughout the week, and put them up on display. 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays at twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series. It's been a pleasure. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you soon.